Two things from the Board of Supervisors meeting the other night. They might seem like two separate items, but really they're both part of the same story. One was a presentation on real estate reassessment values, and two was a work session on the build-out analysis. The big takeaway from the real estate reassessment is that when you go to sell your home, you'll get more money for it. Rising property values is a double-sided coin. You make money when you sell your home. This is the investment part of home ownership that you can build wealth through, right? But of course, the flip side of that is that your property taxes also go up. The overall change this year is that property values went up by 6.17%. In the Jack Jewett district, it actually went up by 8.3%. And the median home value now is $516,000. And when we think about what a property value tax increase means on a house like that, it's about $20 more a month. Not outrageous, but not nothing, especially when this keeps happening year after year, right? Basically, there's more people who want to live here than we have enough homes for. And so because of supply and demand, it drives prices up. It's bad for your taxes, but good for your long-term wealth, unless you're a renter like me, whose rent will probably increase to cover the cost, but I get nothing down the road for it. You know, my area went up by 16%, so I understand how significant this can be. But I do also want to point out that there were a lot of areas in a lot of neighborhoods where property values went down or stayed very low and well under that 6%. And ultimately, what this does is gives us funding for programs in the county to pay for salaries and health insurance and community organization and help fund the things that we all love about living in this area. The second main thing we had the other night was a work session on the 2025 build-out analysis and an updated tool for staff to use. So in 2022, the county did a build-out analysis and then they updated it last year. And this looks at population growth projections and the amount of housing we're going to need. And then it looks at the available land left in the development area to build that housing on. It looks at the zoning, the recommended densities for the properties, and they can roughly estimate if we have enough space. We know that we only have 813 acres of vacant developable acreage left in the development area. And then we also have 633 acres that are developable but have structures on them, and so it would be more redevelopment to maximize the use of that land. Altogether, that 1,446 acres is less than 7% of the development area, and it is 0.3% of the land in Albemarle County. Part of the presentation included a new market-based analysis to this build-out tool. They're basically including data from a national company that forecasts growth and the demand for housing and development. So by including the demand with our land use policies, they can get a more accurate understanding of what our supply could look like depending on the density and everything else. Using this analysis, the projection is that in 10 years, we will be at 81% of our housing maximum build out under our current policies. A significant qualifier is that all of this data was done and all of the inputs given before the AstraZeneca news. Some of our discussion was about how the tool will probably evolve as staff uses it and what sort of inputs can be added into it. A couple of the things that I asked to be included in it was keeping account of how many acres we have left. As we approve various developments in the development area, I think it would be wise to consistently track how much land we have left. I also said that I would be interested in tracking the average cost of land. In 2018, the average cost for an acre of vacant land in the development area was $40,000, and in 2021, it was $56,000. So I'm curious what that cost is now, and as land in the development area becomes even more scarce, I also think it would be wise to understand what that scarcity is doing to the cost of land. Because the cost of the land eventually gets passed on to the people who live in the properties that become developed. And one of the reasons why it is so hard to have market rate prices that the average person can afford is because the land costs are so high. So those are two of the things we talked about on Wednesday night. And I'll just say, if you don't like the rising assessments now, just wait until we are physically unable to build any more housing. But we still have thousands of people in well-paying jobs who want to move here. Our choices continue to be policies that price each other out so that none of us can afford to live here, or we make space for more neighbors to join our community.